Hey, good morning. Shalom, shalom. First Kings or Melachim 1, chapter 11. Yah scriptures. And sovereign Shalomo or King Solomon loved many foreign women in addition to the daughter of Pharaoh. Moabite, Ammonite, Edomite, Sidonian, and Hittite women. From the nations of whom Yah had said to the children, "Do not go into them. They do not go into you. They shall certainly turn away your hearts after their mighty ones." Solomon clung to these in love. And he had 700 wives, princesses, and 300 concubines, and his wives turned away his heart. Wow. And it came to be when Shalomo was old that his wives turned away his heart after other mighty ones, just like Yah had warned him. And his heart was not perfect with Yah, his Elohim, as was the heart of his own father David. And Shalomo went after Ashtoreth, the mighty one of the Sidonians, and after Milcom, the abomination of the Ammonites. Thus Solomon did evil in the eyes of Yahweh, and did not follow Yahweh completely like his father. Then Solomon built a high place for Chemosh, the abomination of Moab, on the hill that is east of Jerusalem, and for Moloch, the abomination of the children of Ammon. So he did all these things for his foreign wives, who burned incense, and they sacrificed to their mighty ones. Therefore Yahweh was enraged with Solomon, because his heart had turned away from Yah, Elohim of Israel, who had appeared to him twice. He commanded him concerning this word not to go after other mighty ones, but he did not guard what Yahweh had commanded. And Yah said to Solomon, "Because you have done this and have not guarded my covenant and my laws, which I have commanded you, I shall certainly tear the reign away from you and give it to your servant. Only I do not do it in your days for the sake of your father. Out of the hand of your son I'll tear it. Only I shall not tear away all the reign, but give one tribe to your son for the sake of my servant David, and for the sake of Jerusalem that I've chosen." And Yahweh raised up an adversary against Solomon, Hadad, the Edomite. He was of the seed of the sovereign in Edom. And it came to be, when David was in Edom, and Joab, the commander of the army, had gone up to bury the slain, after he had smitten every male in Edom, Joab remained there with all of Israel for 6 months, until every male was cut off. And Hadad fled to go to Egypt, Mitzrayim, he and certain Edomites of his father's servants with him, while Hadad was still a little child. And they arose from Midian, and came to Paran, took men with them from Paran, and came to Mitzrayim, Egypt, to Pharaoh, king of Egypt, who gave him a house, and ordered food for him, and gave him land. And Hadad found much favor in the eyes of Pharaoh, so that he gave him as wife the sister of his own wife, the sister of Sovereigness, Taphanes. And the sister of Taphanes bore him Genubath, his son, whom Taphanes weaned in Pharaoh's house. And Genubath was in the house of Pharaoh among the sons of Pharaoh. And Hadad heard in Mitzrayim that David slept with his fathers, and that Joab, the commander of the army, was dead. And Hadad said to Pharaoh, "Let me go to my land." And Pharaoh said, "But what have you lacked with me, that you are now seeking to go to your own land?" And he answered, "No, just please let me go." And Elohim raised up another adversary against him, Rezon, son of Eliada, who had fled from his master Hadadezer, sovereign of Sobah. And when David slew them, he gathered men to him and became commander over a raiding band. And they went to Damascus and dwelt there and reigned in Damascus. And he was an adversary of Israel all the days of Solomon, besides the trouble that Hadad caused, and he was hostile to Israel, and he reigned over Aram. And a servant of Solomon, Jeroboam, son of Nebat, an Ephraimite from Sareda, whose mother's name was Saruiah, a widow, also lifted up a hand against the king. And this is what caused him to lift up a hand against the king. Solomon had built Millo, repairing the breaks in the city of David his father. And the man Jeroboam was a brave man, and Solomon, seeing that this young man was doing his work well, made him the officer over all of the compulsory labor of the house of Joseph. And it came to be at that time, when Jeroboam went out to Jerusalem, that the Nabai, the prophet Ahiahu the Shilonite, met him on the way, and he was wearing a new garment, and the two were alone in the field. And Abiyahu took hold of the new garment that was on him, and tore it into 12 pieces, and said to Jeroboam, Take for yourself 10 pieces, for thus says Yahweh the Elohim of Israel, See, I am tearing the reign out of the hand of Solomon, and shall give 10 tribes to you. But he shall have 1 tribe for the sake of my servant David, and for the sake of Jerusalem, the city which I chose, out of all the tribes of Israel. Because they have forsaken me and bowed themselves to Ashtoreth, the mighty one of the Sidonians, to Chemosh, the mighty one of the Moabites, to Milcom, the mighty one of the children of Ammon, and have not walked in my ways, to do what is right in my eyes, and my instructions, and my right rules, as did his father David. But I do not take all the reign out of his hand, because I made him ruler all the days of his life for the sake of David, whom I chose, because he guarded my commands and instructions. And I shall take the reign out of his son's hand and give it to you, the 10 tribes. And to his son I give 1 tribe, so that my servant David shall always have a lamp before me in Jerusalem, the city which I have chosen for myself to put my name there. So I take you, and you shall reign over all that your being desires, and you shall be king over Israel. And it shall be, if you obey all that I command you, and walk in my ways, do what's right in my eyes, guard my instructions and my commands, as my servant David did, then I shall be with you, and I will build for you a steadfast house, as I built for David, and shall give Israel to you. So here he's saying again twice, he's saying obey. If you do, you're going to be blessed. I'm going to give you this. And Verse 39, And because of this I humbled the seed of David, but not forever. And Solomon sought to kill Jeroboam, but Jeroboam rose up and fled to Egypt, to Shishak, sovereign of Mitzrayim, and was in Mitzrayim until the death of Solomon. And the rest of the acts of Solomon, all that he did in his wisdom, are they not written in the book of the acts of Solomon? And the days that Solomon reigned in Jerusalem over all Israel was 40 years. So Solomon slept with his fathers and was buried in the city of David his father, and Rehoboam his son reigned in his place. Yah bless you all. Have a wonderful day. Shalom, shalom.